Hello, my name is David Fox, and this is my presentation for Constitutional Rights by Brandeis University. I will be covering the case of Berghuis versus Thompkins. First, we will be looking at the facts of the case. In February of 2001, Vanchester Thompkins was arrested on suspicion of a murder that occurred on January 10th of the year 2000. Once in custody, Thompkins was given and understood his Miranda rights. For the next 3 hours, detectives questioned him, but Thompkins remained almost completely silent, saying nothing of importance. The detectives decided to switch tactics and appealed to Thompkins' religious side. They asked if he prayed to God to forgive him for the murder he committed, and Thompkins said yes. At the trial, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. After years of appeals, his case finally came before the Supreme Court in 2010. The issue before them was to decide if the Miranda rights afforded must be explicitly invoked or if they can be presumed to be invoked. Or rather, did Thompkins' silence constitute him invoking his right to silence? The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, decided that silence alone does not invoke the right to remain silent. Instead, the accused must state they wish to use their rights. Writing the majority opinion of the court, Justice Kennedy stated, and I quote, "In sum, a suspect who has received and understood the Miranda warnings and has not invoked his Miranda rights waives the right to remain silent by making an uncoerced statement to the police." Thompkins did not invoke his right to remain silent and stop the questioning. Understanding his rights in full, he waived his right to remain silent by making a voluntary statement to police. End quote. Writing the dissenting opinion, Justice Sotomayor stated that this decision now means that, and I quote, "Suspects must now unambiguously invoke their right to remain silent, which counterintuitively requires them to speak. At the same time, suspects will be legally presumed to have waived their rights, even if they have given no clear expression of their intent to do so." End quote. This decision allows the police to use a defendant's silence against them, where previously it was presumed to be part of Miranda protection, effectively moving back the clock, undoing some of the protection given by the Miranda decision. All things considered, I agree with the decision. A person who is fully informed of their rights should know better than to talk when they have decided to remain silent. Further, I think it is unreasonable for the police to have to determine constantly if a suspect is thinking, pausing, refusing to answer a specific question, inept, doesn't understand the question, or is invoking his rights. I don't think that when Thompkins stayed silent, the police should have ended their questioning, and that when he started answering questions, he was essentially waiving his rights, just like the court said, which would nullify them if he had invoked them. So I believe it is irrelevant if silence alone invokes rights in this specific case. On the reverse side, I do concede that this decision is odd in the way that it places the burden on the accused rather than on the authorities. In general, this seems to contradict the spirit of the Bill of Rights and Miranda, which are usually seen to limit the government by making them jump through hoops to get things done. In the end, I believe it is not that great of a burden if it is literally only requires one sentence on the part of the accused and a degree of competence to ensure full protection. Thank you for watching. I've provided the links below, either in the comments of the YouTube section or below the posting on Blackboard, for the sources I've cited and the sources I used for this project.